Welcome back to another episode of Cinema Society Saturday. And I'm Gus from Askewed Reviews. Now, if you haven't heard of Cinema Society Saturday before, let me tell you a little bit more about it. This is where a group of us horror content creators have all come together. Then each week we are randomly given a theme, we partner up, give our partner a movie that fits within the theme, and then we review that film for all of you. Now, for this week's theme, I welcome all of you to the future! Future horror, that is. So these are all movies that take place in the future, whether that's a technological future, a dystopian future, or maybe just the future for when that film was made. And my partner on this future endeavor is Mr. Bones, also known as Macabre Mr. Bones. And if you haven't checked out his stuff before, you definitely need to go do so. He has some very fun and interesting videos. And for this week's theme, my partner Mr. Bones gave me the film of Daybreakers. That's right, the 2009 film written and directed by the Spierig brothers, Michael and Peter. Daybreakers, in my opinion, definitely fits into this niche genre that was happening during the first decade of the 2000s, where we would see horror films that were in a semi dystopian future of something strange or something weird or something different that would be happening in our not too distant future. I do actually remember seeing this one in theaters, but had completely forgot about it since then. Now, let me tell you more about the actual concept for this movie, either one, to see if you remember it, or two, if this will be something that interests you. So, in this world, bats ended up causing a disease that led to vampirism. Now, it actually became pretty widespread, so vampires then became the major majority, and humans became the minority. Now, with the world taking this shift, vampires became the upper class, so everything was now catered to them. For instance, pretty much the streets were left barren during the daytime. Secondly, homes and vehicles now had the ability of something blocking sunlight so that they could still move about. There were even walkways that were installed underground so the vampires could move around without having to deal with the sunlight. As years went by, things became very bleak for the humans, as they were pretty much captured and then used as cattle almost. So they would actually be penned up somewhere and their blood would be drained from them so that they could be given out to the vampires. Now, a huge issue for the vampires comes up as humans are becoming scarcer and scarcer. And if vampires aren't able to get blood regularly, they then start to transform and mutate into full on bat like creatures. Now, our main character of Edward Dalton is a hematologist vampire who is trying to figure out a way of having synthetic blood so they don't have to rely on this and so that humans can actually just go free. At this point in the story, humans, for the most part, are already captured or are on the run. And at one point, Edward actually runs into a group of humans that are trying to escape. And since he honestly does not want to harm humans, he lets them go. His good deed ends up working out for the best, as a woman named Lisa, a man who is nicknamed Elvis, and a group of other humans reach out to him about the possibility of a cure for vampirism. Edward is actually very excited about the possibility of being turned back into a human. However, though, his boss, Charles Bromley, is not. And there are, of course, a bunch of other vampires out there that don't want to be turned back to humans either. So, which side of this argument will end up winning out? The only way you'll discover that is by watching Daybreakers for yourselves. I was really glad I got to rewatch this film because honestly, I remember not liking it that much, and this was better than I thought it was going to be. Now, I won't say it was amazing though. I do like the actors because you have some really great performances from Ethan Hawke, Willem Dafoe, and Sam Neill, but you also have some not so great story moments. Now, the plot itself I thought was really cool and interesting, but it did drag at moments, and probably my biggest issue with the movie is some of the special effects. Like, whenever fire was used, it just seemed so weird and ridiculous and not how fire would act. And of course, the way that people would react after the fire would kind of go out, the fact that they had just no difference to them was really weird and made no sense. Also, a random interesting bit of information for those of you who have seen this movie. If you don't remember, it supposedly takes place in 2019 when this movie was made in 2009. So I love the idea of 10 years later, vampires are just controlling everything. So for me on my scale, I'm going to give this film a 3 out of 5. if you'd like to check it out for yourselves, at the moment, it's not currently streaming for free anywhere, but I was able to find a 7-day trial on Prime for a different streaming service where I was able to watch this. Now, once more, I am going to mention definitely go and follow Mr. Bones. Let's try to see if we can get him up to 3,000 followers. Also, another great reason to check out his stuff is so you can watch the review for the film that I gave him, which was the 2000 film Pitch Black. And lastly, if you'd like to see what everyone else in the group did with their reviews when it came to future horror films, just look up the hashtag Cinema Society Saturday.